All right, everyone. Today I'm going to share a few dirty little secrets about financial advisors that they don't want you to know. I've been through a lot of this in my 20 years of experience, and I'm very happy to say that I don't have to deal with any of this anymore. But let's get right into it. I'm going to go over a few things that I'm sure you don't know and aren't aware about your financial advisor. Number one is a lot of them, they don't necessarily churn and burn anymore like the 80s, but they do a lot of set and forget. So if they have their Series 7, they'll throw you into a very expensive mutual fund with fees upwards of 5 and 6%. Set it and just forget it. They put you in that mutual fund, that's the fund you're in forever. They rarely look at it and keep track of your accounts because most of them have close to 1,000 clients. Especially if you're at a large firm or a bank, they probably have 1,000 clients, and there's no way they can service all of those clients or even know all of their names. So throw you in a fund, charge you 5% up front, and maybe talk to you a few years down the line. Another thing they do is, even a lot of the independents, they'll take your funds in, but then they'll send it to a third party or robo-advisor. So this is very easy to see. When I move funds in from other advisors, I can easily tell who's using a robo-advisor. Usually it's just the basic thing you'll learn in Financial Planning 101, small, mid, large, government bonds, corporate bonds, very structured like that without really any thought or any creativity in it. That's usually the sign of a robo-advisor. And they'll charge you a large fee. They'll split the fee with the advisor and they'll get maybe half of it or a third. So with a Series 7, that's the stockbroker license. I no longer have that because I'm not a stockbroker anymore. So I can't put people into loaded mutual funds. I can't charge an upfront fee. I just charge an annual fee of assets under management, which is the most fair and transparent way to do it. A financial advisor can say they're a fiduciary because they'll have their fiduciary license, but they'll also have their stockbroker license. So be very careful with that. I recently received a client that said, well, their advisor's a fiduciary. I said, but these fees are loaded mutual funds. I can't sell these. I can't collect the commission from it because they also have their Series 7. So it can be both. So please be aware of that as well. Another thing a lot of advisors will do, and this is large firms and even some independents, they will put you in illiquid funds. I've talked about that many, many times, but they'll put you in illiquid funds so you can't leave. Your money's locked up, whether it's an illiquid REIT or an annuity, a variable annuity, it's locked up for 5 to 10 years. You can't leave, your money's with them. Be aware of illiquidity in your investments as well. Another thing, a lot of these advisors, you see this often at the larger firms and banks, they're very inexperienced. They're in their 20s, and look, I've been there. I've been that guy when I was at the bank. But a lot of them are inexperienced, they don't know what they're doing, they have sales goals to hit, or they'll lose their job. If you see these advisors in their 20s, guarantee they're making 40 to 50 grand a year. You make more than them, but you're coming to them for advice. This is where credibility comes into play. A lot of these advisors are not credible because they themselves don't have any money to manage. My suggestion for a young advisor is join a team. Make sure you have a mentor. Make sure you have a team backing you, because a high 6-figure or 7-figure investor isn't going to want to invest in a 20-year-old with just a couple years experience. So be aware of that as well. And like I said, once you have hundreds and hundreds or thousands of accounts, you're not watching them. During the tariff dip that we had, I was able to call all of my clients. I'm keeping my client base small and efficient. I guarantee you, if you're at the bank, your advisor didn't call you. And when I did call them, I had clients invest even more, and now we're up 10% on those accounts. So think of what you're missing out on just because of lack of service as well. I've also seen clients in mutual funds that overlap. They'll have a few mutual funds and then a fund of funds with those other mutual funds inside of it already. So you also see a lot of overlapping in these just to say they're adding more diversification, but really they're not. So be aware of fund of funds, because you might have unnecessary positions that you're not aware of, because you might be too concentrated in one sector of the market and not even know it. Sales goals and proprietary products. All advisors have sales goals, unless you are completely independent. And with that, even some people that say they're independent, they're not, because there's still a broker dealer they're working with. And that broker dealer takes a portion of their commission. So they have to get more and more, and it's nonstop just to have a decent income coming in. I've mentioned that before in my video about Morgan Stanley and their sales goals, but all of these advisors have sales goals to hit. And in order to do that, they need to take on hundreds and hundreds of clients. They also have proprietary products. So if you're at a large bank or large firm, you might only be able to sell their mutual funds or their annuities that they approve. It's very, very controlled there. This is why I stress the importance of independence. Some advisors at banks can't even sell certain insurance policies until they hit certain sales goals. This does not give the customer a full access of product mix. It gives the customer exactly what the bank states they can invest in, and that's it. Be very aware of all of these. These are the secrets your advisor doesn't want you to know. I could go on forever about this, but I want to make this short, sweet, and to the point. So please be aware of that. If you want to contact me, my link is below. Thank you.